So when we went to war, I saw your colors all over me.
Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm with Tim Tollefson. It's a couple days before the 2018 UTMB. Hi, Tim.
Hello. Nice to see you again.
You too. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. Yeah.
So we're here at the finish line of all of the races, and the kids race, the teenagers race, the YCC is going to fire off in a few minutes.
Yeah. It's not a bad place to be on this afternoon.
All of your future competition is warming up and about to race.
They look pretty fierce, honestly. Like, those kids have some wheels.
You are not in unfamiliar territory right now. This is your fourth time here at the UTMB Festival of Races.
Yeah.
1 CC, CCC, 2 UTMBs, and if I can get all my acronyms right, you're back for another go at UTMB.
Yeah, one more. I guess
one more.
Well, I guess no. I'll backtrack that. But yeah, it's fourth year in a row. It seems to be a place that I've always had on my calendar. So yeah. I guess it's gone all right, but there's still some unfinished business out there.
Unfinished business. Now, you are a person who now has 2 third-place finishes at UTMB and a second-place finish at CCC. I think there's a lot of people out there who'd love to have your resume, but you still have unfinished business?
I'm a student of the sport. I'm learning every year, and Lindsay pointed out to me that this month marks my 4th year of ultra running, and Friday will be my 3rd 100-mile race, and it happens to be my 3rd UTMB. So on paper, I guess maybe Zach and I are the 2 least experienced 100-mile racers in the field, but it's kind of fun to be the underdog.
Yeah, that concept of being an underdog American is something that I think it punctuates your name. Now, I can't help but wonder, do you like that feeling? Do you wish that sort of people's opinion of you matched your performances here? How does that feel?
I'm fine with it. I don't want my face up on a billboard, and I think that experiencing this week at UTMB is really fun because it's unlike the energy and kind of the fanfare is unlike anything else we'll find in the ultra world. But then after 1 week, I get to go back to the Sierra and kind of tuck away into the mountain and just enjoy time with friends up in the Alpine and kind of escape. So I guess personally for ultra running, I'm not looking for any self-validation or kind of like, I don't measure my self-worth through results. I'd love to win this race. That's why I keep coming back. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be broken, and it's not what I'm seeking out there is the kind of the number one objective. So yeah, if my name's not written in the stars, so be it.
I want to talk for just a minute about sort of the ground feel of Ground Zero UTMB. You've said before that you really like the energy here. It's selfie city down there. As you're walking the streets to and fro, you're selfied by a lot of people or with a lot of people. Yeah, for people watching this who haven't been to Chamonix, transport them here. What's it really like?
It's I think it's just kind of the collection of a lot of passionate trail fans globally that kind of just migrate to the valley here each end of August each year, and it is fun. Kind of like I mentioned, where since we don't experience this normally, where if someone notices you or wants a photo, it's kind of, the novelty is there and it's enjoyable. But I don't like selfies, so I will never hold the camera. But if someone takes it, I'm happy to. But I just don't think I have the selfie face, not the right angles. But I don't know. It's neat because you just have a lot of like-minded people that are drawn here probably because they're enamored by the thought of a grand tour of Mont Blanc, and it's an adventure that we're all sharing. And if you're first or if you're at the very back, or probably the bell curve is in that 40 to 44 hour mark, that's the majority of people are going to be finishing there. I think it's just kind of a fun experience where I guess it kind of is like a major city marathon and the Super Bowl rolled in to a trail event, which I mean, stateside, you couldn't envision that. it just
and I
wouldn't
don't think
exist.
you can create it there.
Yeah, I don't think you can. And
Yeah.
but I think that's neat that we don't have it also, because I mean I was talking to Francois, and a lot of Americans come over here, and we're just blown away how you have these refugios or huts and you can run to places and have nice meals, but what we don't recognize is you lose true wilderness. Like Francois loves coming to California or anywhere in the western United States, because he can go out and run the JMT and cross maybe one road, see a few hikers,
Right.
and to him that is something beautiful.
And 0 people ask him for a selfie. in
No
that
one will
time.
ask him. They would look and be like, "Why do you have so much spandex on?"
So weird, all that kit.
Yeah.
Although
So-
they wouldn't say kit either.
No. But I think it's neat that we have both ends of the spectrum. So it's, for us Americans, it's kind of something unique to be out here. Yeah.
So let's talk about your preparation for this race. I mean, to improve from a couple third places here to something like second place or a win, we're talking about like micro improvements, day-to-day micro improvements in your training, very small percentage points. Is that sort of how you look at your preparations for this? If I can make myself just a teensy bit better on this day, then it'll add up in 72 days or
Pretty
whatever?
much.
Okay.
Yeah, I find that if I tweak too many variables at once, I'm going to burn out. And I kind of did that leading into Trans Gran Canaria this year.
Okay.
I got real aggressive and I got
You
excited.
trained hard, right?
I trained really hard, and I was perhaps the fittest I've ever been, but I broke before the race started. So it was all lost. And so this summer, I definitely was more calculated, where I didn't want to build as hard. But I also was dealing with some iron issues that prevented my buildup. And so I think maybe that was a blessing, where I feel like I'm rounding into fitness currently, where in an ideal world, if I had been able to design it, I would have done more before this race. But with a few key workouts, they went better than before last year's race. So I think I'm in at least as good of shape. And the more I say more, it's my third 100, so I can't speak like a veteran. But I think that at this point, if you're healthy, that's half the battle. And mentally, if you're in the right mindset and like you're ready to engage in those low moments or find a reason to push on, I think that that's a really important piece of kind of the puzzle, and it's a variable that I'm ready to embrace. And I'm hopeful that I've done enough physical training that my mental kind of capacity will be able to carry me through as I manage the little variables that are critical to executing a good 100-miler.
What's your secret to closing well? Because you're a person, like you said, this is your third 100. They've all been here, but you've successfully closed both of your previous races.
I think the key is you got to walk the early hills out of like to Les Houches, where you're getting passed by women and like guys in their 70s. But I think that managing my emotions early on, kind of having emotional control to not burn too many matches in the first 100K, 120K, kind of is something I've mentioned in the past. I have drawn from my marathon experience, where anyone can run a hard 20 miles in a marathon. It's what you do the final 10K. And that's how, as I approached the 100-mile distance, I had a healthy respect for it. Just, it's so unknown and so daunting that I wanted to run a good 120K and then bring home a hard 50K. And so that's kind of been the approach. But both times, so that's why I was so conservative early on. I had a lot left in at the end.
There
Well, I
goes
think
the
we have the masses.
YCC.
Yeah.
There they go. You can just see them in the
it-
corner of the interview. That's awesome.
Allez!
Allez, allez!
That is really cool. Go, Jack!
Go, Jack!
But I think that I wouldn't have changed either of my experiences. They worked out, but I did finish with a little too much energy at the end. And so if I can... Both times.
Okay.
So, I mean, last year, much less energy, but still maybe a fraction too much, where I think... I came out of it really well, remarkably. But so this year, I think I'll be a little more aggressive early on. But aggressive for me doesn't mean, letting my ego feel like I need to lead the race, or I'm
there.
I love being alone. So 95% of my training is solo. So if I'm with other guys and they take off, I'll be like, au revoir.
Says the guy who came to the race event with 10,000 people total.
Yeah.
I love being alone.
Well, the front runners, we have a different experience than the conga lines. But yeah, I don't know. It's I think that finishing strong is a goal, and you enjoy the race more if you're not just grasping for straws. Like, as Brian saw at my Transgran Canaria in 2016, it was the most miserable death march I've ever had. And I think maybe that instilled even more healthy respect to, like, not bite off too much early on. And it may mean that I don't pull a Zach Miller and I have those amazing, like, once in a lifetime performances. But if I had to look back on my career and I missed out on a few, but I enjoyed the journey along the way, honestly, I think I'd be okay with that. So
Didn't run for 60K or 80K feeling awful.
yeah.
When you're in a beautiful place like this.
When you can look into Zach's eyes at the end of one of those races, it's enough to give you nightmares. And I don't want to ever feel that way. Yeah. I love Zach, and I respect the hell out of him, but I don't think I have it in my personality to do that.
My Brian says that a lot too, that he just doesn't like to suffer that bad.
I'm kind of a wimp. I push really hard in training, and then the race itself is the victory lap. I'm going out there to share it with others, and I mean, I'm going to be competitive. I'm going to dig as hard as I can, almost as hard as I can. But yeah, I don't like to hurt that much.
I want to talk for a second about the concept of an American man winning UTMB. This is a thing that lots of Americans like to talk about right now. Yeah. The idea of America, Team America, bringing home a win at UTMB, where do you sit with that? I mean, I know you'd like to be that guy, but like that, there's people who talk about being the first, or can we do it at all? Or, thoughts on that?
We definitely can do it.
Okay.
It's a matter of time. Do I need to be the first? No.
Okay.
My friend and crew chief, Dre, she's reading Tommy Caldwell's book right now. The Push, maybe, but it's talking about the Dawn Wall, and I saw a lot of parallels in that. And like, it starts off the book with something like 7 years, 3 months, 400 or 200 days, and it's when he finally did it. And I was like, if that's me, if I'm looking back and it's like 8 years, 11 months, and 222 days, and then I finally can say I was a UTMB champion, I'm fine with that. Like, there could be 7 other Americans before me. I don't need to be that first pioneer, if you will. But I think it's just a matter of time. We're figuring out how to train properly for this. I think that a big thing also is people are realizing that when you come over to the Valley, as tempting as it is to go up to all of these places, keep it chill, because you can blow your race because you just want to experience everything. And especially if you can't be here for the whole summer prepping, I think that's something that we've started to realize and
Terrain FOMO.
Yeah, rain FOMO, which is really hard. As you can see right now on this cloudless day,
it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah. But
those mountains are talking to you.
They are definitely calling.
Wait till Friday to talk back.
Right? I put them on hold.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to watching you make your. Well, I guess it's going to be your 3 3/4
Third and 3/4. So,
journeys around the mountain.
Yeah, it's been like 3 years now. Yeah, thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.